So no matter what introduced you to Spider-Man for the first time, be it the comic books, be it the animated series, or if it was the movie series starting with Tobey Maguire, you have to admit that Spider-Man has had some very interesting suits. And in Velocity, the game is kind of raised and the suit is pretty badass. But it does make me wonder, could this brand new suit that enhances Peter's strength and agility and speed be good enough and fast enough to take on a Flash-level speedster? Well, I'm gonna say probably not, and that's why this issue is very interesting. Hello guys, my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach the Nerd. And in this episode, we are going to review issue 2 of Spider-Man Velocity. Or as I like to call it, of food, new suits, and speedsters? Let's check it out. So before we get into the comic, the video game version of the Velocity suit is actually really cool. It seems to be fire resistant, water resistant, has some kind of anti-gravity barrier inside of it. It makes his agility stronger. I mean, basically, he walked through an explosion without being damaged, which is pretty impressive and not something that Peter Parker has ever been able to do, even in the Venom suit. So yeah, this suit is pretty badass. And it's more impressive because Peter actually made the suit himself, which if you know from the comics and the movie, he actually originally made his suit out of fabric that his Aunt May had around and that he sewed. So I guess he took sewing in high school. But this Velocity suit is definitely a long way from his old fabric and cosplaying days, which is what it kind of looked like he was doing in the comic. Yeah, this suit is so cool, it actually makes the one that we saw in Far From Home look pretty damn pathetic. Which I'm sure Tom Holland really didn't want me to say out loud. So in issue 1 of Velocity, Mary Jane had managed to convince herself that she was being haunted and hunted down by a ghost. So of course, the most logical step for Mary Jane to take is to drag her boyfriend Peter to a seance to try and channel the ghost to see exactly why it was hounding her and what it wanted. And of course, this seance is led by none other than Quentin Beck, also known as Mysterio, which is appropriate since there's a crystal ball on the table. Well, Quentin turns out to be a fraud, and after something mysterious happens, we're then shown a flashback of Osborn basically doing experimentation on people. We then get a glimpse of, again, how cool Peter's suit is as he's standing surrounded by fire, while Mary Jane has set herself as bait inside of the basement or archives in the city to try to catch the ghost. And her plan, which we later learn Peter was also a part of, is a success, and they are able to trap the entity in the basement. And then it's up to Peter to go figure out who's in there. But they don't really find a ghost inside. The person they actually ended up trapping is a speedster. A female speedster, and one that more than likely Osborn created in one of his experiments. And Peter is trying to take her on, which is amazing considering it's like Spider-Man fighting the Flash. So who's the new speedster? And if she is a speedster, can she utilize the Speed Force? This is interesting, right? I mean, this book is really good. It's just very, at times, goofy. And I don't think I've ever described a Spider-Man book as goofy, though Peter has done some pretty goofy things in the past. I'm very curious to see where they're going with this. I know this is a tie-in to the video game, but I just want to know, because they're introducing a lot of characters, like having Beck as a seance guy or psychic is hilarious to me. Like all the little things, like the food shortage or the food thief as a major story for the Daily Bugle is kind of funny. Like it's very low key compared to what's happening in ASM and other comics with Carnage and, introducing all brand new characters in those series that are very dark. So this is a very campier, goofier comic with a cool new suit and a kind of interesting storyline. So I like it. I think you should check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you'd like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to know who's next on the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. And if you have time, make sure to check out some of our other videos.